Welcome to the Kid and Drag Gaming Podcast. This is Kid.
And this is Drag. Remember, if you're enjoying the content, go check us out on our socials. Follow us so we post our latest updates. On Instagram, you can look for us at Kid in Drag. On Facebook, same thing, Kid in Drag. If you're follow us on Twitter, go for Drag Kid In. Also, check out our website at kidindrag.chat. You can find all of our latest episodes. All of our stuff is out there. You can contact us. We can get direct feedback from you and help you get the content you want to hear. Now, let's talk about all the stuff you want to talk about.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about cosplay. So we mentioned this on our blog and as a little bit about who we are, that we're really interested in all things gaming and kind of in that fantasy land. If it's cosplay, if it's off into the art that comes behind it, the creations that come out of it, the music that goes into it, we're kind of into all of it. So we definitely wanted to loop in an episode about cosplay just to kind of introduce it. And Kid, what brought you in? I know you've worked on a couple cosplay projects, but what really got you interested in pursuing cosplay yourself?
Well, I was in town and seen some people dressed up, and I'm like, what the heck's going on here? Well, there was a cosplay in town. So I went and checked it out, and just all the nerd swag in there, the pictures, the people dressed up. I mean, there was like Lego mansions everywhere, just all the crazy stuff that comes with it, including anime, which I think that's kind of how a lot of it started. And then it just grew from there to being anything you want to dress up as. So you're always accepted there no matter what. You ain't got to be decked out to the nines to be, getting your picture taken. It's just a wonderful experience, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I go to some of the Wizard Worlds or Comicons strictly for the cosplay. I think at the first one I went to, I really wanted to kind of see, they turn into a big merchandise grab, and there's a lot of celebrities out there doing the autograph sessions and whatnot, but I could strictly go down and just watch the cosplay because I'm just blown away constantly by how much work, time, and effort are put into some of these costumes. And I don't necessarily mean you go in there and wear as little clothes as possible and call it cosplay. There are some that are, if done right and artistically, I'm okay with that, and it's cool, but I really like to see all the crazy creative ideas that are going on there, because I think was the Wizard World you came up to me with the first big one that you saw in St. Louis where they had just hundreds of cosplayers around.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest one I've been to. And it's like you said, the art that is there on top of it, not just people dressing up, but there's tons of artwork, and then you get to meet some of your favorite artists. Mm-hmm. And then I even had like a little book that I went up to him. I was like, hey, would you mind drawing in my book? And I'd have a one of a kind piece of art in this book, and it was $20 to $50 depending on the artist, and it's something that's original and nobody else will be able to have. So that was a cool experience. And then just the pure craftsmanship that goes into that stuff, down to people spending 100 hours sewing on little jewels onto their dresses, and just how crazy you can get in depth in that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think just the maker space, if you will, that's the new term for people that like to build shit. They're called makers, and the maker in people that allow them to create some of that is pretty awesome. Now, I know some people buy their costumes pre-built or whatnot, and they're spending buku dollars doing that. But from what I gathered, most of the people that were consistently and pretty serious about it, they started off as designers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty, I think it's a craft in and of itself. And obviously, the Instagram sphere and Twitter sphere is full of cosplayers that get a lot of recognition just because their craft is pretty awesome. So, yeah. Kid, what are we going to talk about today?
So today we're going to dive into the best cosplay of San Diego Comicon. This is a big shout out to combobreaker.net for this wonderful compilation of pictures they've put up on their website, and we're just going to kind of scroll down and talk about the ones that they thought were the best.
Absolutely. So we've got this queued up. I don't even know what I'm getting into. I can just see the head of a Jessica Rabbit up on the very top of the screen. So that's what we know we're getting into. We're going to scroll on down. So give a shout out to seabreaker.en.seabreaker.net. Go check out his best cosplay reviews. He's got some good pictures and some good write-ups there. So we see Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah, this Jessica
What's your
Rabbit
thought?
is definitely on point. Like it is insane, man. It's the human version of the cartoon. I mean, down to the dress, the colors, the hair. I mean, even the figure of the body, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, down to the lips. She's got that kind of sullen, pouty look on her face for sure. I mean, I think she's doing a class act job of pulling off that character 100%. And it looks like Jenna Lynn Meowry.
Meowry. Yeah.
Meow. How
So
many
if you're
times can you say meow? Meow? Meow?
listen, Meow.
Meow? Listen, meow. Okay.
She definitely nailed it for sure.
Yep. That is spot on. Got the colors in, got the look down, got the body posture, all that stuff. She's doing a really good job representing that character, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then up next we have the Joker from the Suicide Squad, and this guy is definitely on point as well with the jacket. I mean, even the tattoo on his hand, he's holding it up to his face. He's got the nasty nails going and big gangsta chain with the big neon green hair. So this dude definitely nailed it. I've always wanted to go to San Diego Comicon just because the cosplay is top quality there, man. This is great.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. You've got the facial tattoos, the scarring from the movie, the color tint and the hair is spot on. He's got the purple alligator skin jacket. It's pretty spot on. I can guarantee he caught some attention with that
Yeah,
costume for sure.
definitely right. The scarring is on point on that, man. It's crazy, when you get into this stuff, the little cheap effects that you can do can have a real big impact on your cosplay.
It's attention to detail, 100%. I mean, the costume is not out there and probably as mechanically hard as putting together some of those big ones. If you're thinking about doing, Hellboy or some crazy costume like that, but all these little details just really sing down to the class ring, the whole thing. It's spot on. So nice job for sure.
Yeah, and up next we have Wonder Woman, and this one is also another one on point. To the sword, the detail in it, all the fine lines. Her shield is kind of a little flimsy looking, but I
Yeah, it
mean,
looks a little wonky.
but I
Um,
mean, the whole picture, the whole outfit is, I mean, on point to the colors. You start dyeing leather, or painting it, or however they did that. It's just crazy. Now, the
mhm.
crazy part about this is when you look at some of these, the malfunctions. You got to have, depending on your outfit, if you don't have pockets, you're going to have malfunctions, and you got to have needle and thread. And when things happen, hopefully you got a friend there to help pull you off to the side, get that stuff fixed.
Mhm. Yeah, that's they did a pretty good job on the outfit. I would say the most detail to me is really in the body armor piece. That's got some really defined leather, spot on the color. Like not to be too critical, but I'm not just super excited about the arm braces, the shield. But if you think about just attractability, when you say, "Wow, that costume's pretty good," what you see first is going to be that body, that one piece unitard, if you will, with the deeply ingrained leather. Got the really good texture to it, but it's definitely a standout for sure.
And a great smile.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's pretty awesome. Jumping into the next one, you got John Coffey from the Green Mile, and I mean this guy fits the part to the T.
Mm-hmm.
Big guy, muscles, man. He's got the chains on his hands, the overalls, and the ripped up stuff all everywhere. And I mean, he could be a fill in for this guy.
Yeah, no, that they pulled that off well because that's another one that's it makes a loud statement just due to the simplicity of the costume. When you look at it like, oh, how are you going to dress up as this guy? Well, I mean, first of all, you're going to have to work out a little bit or a lot to get that build going on, and then to pull that off, like there'd be no. He doesn't need the sticker that says the Green Mile at all, or the patch that he has. You would just immediately recognize this guy if you see him.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this outfit, and always keep in mind for those of y'all that are listening, is when you get into it, you want to go with a simple costume and evolve into bigger, better things. But when you go to these big shows, it's can be a week-long event, 2, 3 days, so it's awesome to have a simple costume that you can just pop on so you can walk around and see the place, and then usually, like, on a Saturdays when you get in the decked out costume, and then Sunday followed up with, like, another simple costume 'cause you just don't wanna be all decked out all day long.
Well, yeah, just the heat factor is a huge pain in the ass. I mean, to me, even going out to TwitchCon a couple of years ago, you're in these big auditoriums with thousands and thousands of people that are piled in there. You've got, it's naturally an air conditioning nightmare to begin with, but you get these crazy costumes on, man, and you try to spend a 12-hour day. Oh, it's going to be rough.
Yeah, especially for the women in heels. Oh my
Mhm.
god.
Yeah, buddy.
Diving into the next one, we got Jasmine and what is it?
Merida from
Merida.
Disney. She is the two Disney princesses. So Merida was my daughter's personal favorite for a long time because of the red hair, first of all,
Mhm.
and then she was kind of a badass. All some of the Disney princesses are sweet and all that stuff. Merida was just a straight up badass.
Yeah, she was kung fu fighting.
Hmm.
And then you got Jasmine though, like that's a good simple outfit. It's in the blue, everything or turquoise, if you will, with the gold trimmings.
Hmm.
And then the hair, it's always yeah.
Yeah, because I think a couple of things like when I look at cosplay. First of all, the worst thing you can have happen is you do all this work and put all this effort in, and then you walk into a place and somebody walks up to you and say, "Who are you?"
Right.
Well, that's kind of a disappointing. That's like the 5-year-old going trick or treating for the first time and just has a simple costume.
Well, I mean, it's like I went to the local one here, and there's guys been walking around for a while, and I'm like, "Hey, man, payday, heck yeah!" And he's like, "See, finally somebody knows what this is." I'm like, "Well, yeah, the mask kind of gives it away with the guns, But he was just excited that somebody knew.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's these folks that are featured on here. I don't think there's many questions on anybody that I've seen that I wouldn't automatically grab. I think Merida's a tough one to pull off if you're not a Disney fan, but she's carrying this big, 3.5 foot, 4 foot tall bow with her
Hmm.
that kind of says, "Oh yeah, now I get it. And I get the green crushed velvet dress, red hair, bow. Oh yeah, now I got it." So I think that really helped out the costume as well.
Yeah, and up next we have one that I would love to have a picture with these guys. It's the Mortal Kombat guys, and you got Garo, Sub Zero, Scorpion, Raiden, and who's the one in green?
I
It's
got
been
to
so
think about
long.
it.
It's been so long since I played Mortal Kombat, but I know it'll hit me whenever. Just be like,
Maybe Chun Li.
no, that's Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
I mean, could be a mashup, right?
Uh,
But yeah, the Goro man, he is amazing. He's got the forearms. I mean, it is on point to the T, to the big muscle legs, big muscle arms. Like I can't imagine the work that went into just all the padding, shading, and that with the airbrush.
Maybe she's trying to pull off Jade.
Jade, that's it. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's
Yeah.
Jade.
Okay. Yep. So I think less recognizable character, maybe, but I think if you see this group walking across anywhere, you're not going to have any doubt what's going
Yeah.
on.
That's the more clothed version of Jade that I'm thinking.
Yeah. Yep. I think so. But I think that would definitely be an eye catcher if you're walking across a room and you've got four people walking together on point with the um, same theme. That's definitely a standout. Goro is just unbelievable. I think they did a great job with that.
Yeah.
Adding on two extra arms into a live event is pretty tricky.
Yeah, especially when you start taking pictures and one get hung up on something and get ripped off. Oh my dear lord, that would just be a nightmare.
Oh man, yeah, the repair on that one isn't going to be a quick fix.
So up next we have this lady dressed up as the Witcher 3. Now,
Siri.
yeah, the detail on this is like, I watch Face Off all the time. They always say a great makeup can save a bad job, and
Mhm.
this has got the whole package from the shading to the scarring, the wig, you can definitely tell this was a long time. Hey, you see some stuff and you're like, oh, I could do that, and then you dive into it and you're 3 weeks in and you've got a button made.
Yeah, and I look at that. The belt on there has got great detail on there. Definitely some 3D printing of some sort going on, or somebody spent a crap load of time. But then you've got the leather pouch. It looks like real leather. Gloves, the whole 9 yards. I think they did a great job putting this whole package together. And pardon our dust while we tell you about a new thing that we have found. So I really do hope you're enjoying listening to the Kid and Drag Gaming Show. Do you know that you can actually get paid for listening to this podcast and others? I know it sounds crazy, but totally true. We discovered this app called Podcoin. It pays you to listen to podcasts. Here's how it works. You listen to podcasts, you earn Podcoin while you listen. After you accumulate enough, you can trade those Podcoin in for gift cards for Amazon, Starbucks, or places like that. You can even donate this to charity if you're down for it, which you guys should know that I am. The more you listen, the more you earn. So here's what you do. Download the app right now on iPhone or Android. I've got a special code for you. Simply use our code KIDANDDRAG, and you'll get 300 Podcoin just for signing up. And if you listen to enough of us on here, you can get a cappuccino at Starbucks, gift card, whatever. So go ahead and listen to this podcast or virtually any podcast on Podcoin and sign up with the code KIDANDDRAG. I know it's going to change the way you listen to podcasts. Now back to our show.
Up next, we got Willy Wonka, and this is the present day Willy Wonka, by the way.
Johnny Depp, Willy Wonka.
Yeah, Johnny Depp, he's holding a Wonka bar with the crazy glasses. He's decked out to the nines, pretty much just like the movie. You'd have no problem recognizing this guy.
No, got the big bolo with the W on there. So yeah, definitely an attractive costume for sure.
And next we got Domino from Deadpool, and this one's pretty spot on. The gun, I think a lot of the gun work was probably I can't tell if that's just a store bought or is that like a 3D printed gun.
Man, I'm gonna have to go with some kind of store bought because it does look like the trigger and the clip are separate, and they've got quite a few screws in there. So I think she must have picked that one up at a store.
Yeah, that's that's the thing is like a lot of this looks store bought, but this is probably one of her first cons though, and that's the great part about it is you can piece together an outfit and go and have a great time. I think she's got the course of makeup around her eye, which is pretty spot on. But it's the simple things like that. Like I said, you don't have to go decked out to this stuff. You don't have to spend 5 million hours just to have a good time at this place. It's just great to dress up, get your picture taken, and meet a lot of new people.
Yep. Well, I can't wait to talk about the next one.
Oh my God, I'm gonna let you dive right into this. This is
so
amazing.
We had Jasmine already. Now we've got Jafar from Aladdin. So this one, yeah, he's got the costume. I mean, spot on, crushed velvet all over the place. But then when you go into the facial work with this guy, man, the molding and the time spent on that alone, that's a couple hour, 3 hour makeup session to get that put together.
Yeah, the latex on that guy is unreal. Like this is like demonic looking Jafar at that, man. This guy had to have placed in something.
Yeah, he would have had to. I mean, like you've seen these face-off things where they're doing the latex. Well, this guy, unless he is just an abnormal person, he has got a lot of latex on. I mean, it is painted on. Then he's even got the fake parrot on the shoulder. He's got all the jewelry, the staff, the whole 9 yards. I mean, this guy is just unreal. And down to the goatee. He might have some kind of weave in that goatee that's rolling down to the middle of his chest, but man, it is it's hard. I'm sure it's molded into some of that latex and whatnot and weaved in, but man, that is very, very looks built in. I'll put it that way. He did a great job.
He definitely. I bet that staff's eyes light up too.
Yep, I bet so. Man.
Now this is the next one's kind of one I've always wanted to do at a con. And that is the new Pennywise. It. This guy is he's definitely got it down to the red balloon. the hair, the smile. Like that's the crazy part is his facial smile is on point with all that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, there was a Pennywise here at the last con I was at that was spot on too. It seems like it's relatively easy to put together. I mean, I'm sure it's got to be, these pieces have got to be found about anywhere.
Yeah, you could piece that together pretty easy, but I would just love to do it just to because everybody I know is afraid of clowns. I
Hmm.
don't know why. They're supposed to be happy.
Oh, yeah. Well, Pennywise is not so happy.
Uh, Let you dive into that one there.
So looks like we got Nessa from Pokemon Sword and Shield. Pretty simple costume. It looks like Jackie Joyner or Kersey. Frankly, it threw on a bathing suit, but fairly simple costume, but pretty easy to recognize. Got the wig work is great. That's the biggest standout thing I see here is just our attention to detail, if you will. But definitely looks sharp on the wig and the coloring and whatnot. But
And
decent costume overall.
she definitely spent a lot of time working out to accomplish that one right there.
Yep. That is she came straight out of the Olympics to go do this, it looks like.
So up next we got two guys as Judge Dredd.
Yep.
And man, they're both. I wonder if they're friends or they just ran into each other out there. And that's another thing about going to these cons. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna be awesome. I'm gonna dress up as Judge Dredd, and then you go there and there's somebody else, and you're like, get all mad because they've got some stuff that's a little bit better, but you don't know how long that guy's been doing that. And if
Man,
it,
there's no way. These guys had to have that coordinated because down to the grenades, I mean, every piece on them is pretty much identical. They had to coordinate this.
yeah,
Unless there's a Judge Dredd store in San Diego on the way to the con.
that's very possible. But yeah, they've got the same colors. They definitely like, all right, we can do two of these at once, use the same paint, and save a lot of money.
They got the BOGO pricing on Judge Dredd costumes.
uh, what do we have here? Atlanta and
Mara from Aquaman. So the two princesses down under, if you will, down underwater, not down under Australia. But they've got full bodysuits on. Obviously, if you remember the movie, those are pretty tight bodysuits. They're obviously swimming underwater. So they've got their tridents. I think they pulled it. They pulled the look off great. I mean, the hair colors great, blonde, redhead. It's pretty spot on. I would have to say a purchase costume on both counts would be my guess. There might be some add-on pieces or whatnot that they bought or that they put together.
those Tritons, man, would be so hard to freaking make, especially at that caliber that they look right there. But you talk about the body suits, and I see they're outside. So once you start sweating in there,
Man.
it's the bad deal right there. So
Mm-hmm.
always keep that in mind that when you go to these and you're putting on full body suits, be sure to bring an extra change of clothes just in case.
Well, I can definitely tell Atlanta was a smart one there because she went with flat bottom shoes versus the heels on Mara. So, well, I think I would have opted for the flat bottom shoes as well.
Man, that's another thing. You're walking around all day long, and if you're in high heels or just uncomfortable boots, oh my dear Lord, man! By the end of the day, you're ready to just jump off a cliff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. That can be a long day.
Yeah. So up next, we got MCU Thor. So this is a big guy right here holding the kind of axe would you say that is?
Man, that's got to be the remake of the second axe that they built in Avengers. Don't spoil it, but that's going to be where he went away from the hammer and he had the axe reforged. That's going to be the replica of that, from what I can tell. It looks like it's got the part of Groot's arm wrapped around as the handle. It's got that crisscross across the top. So I think that's what it's trying to represent.
Yeah, and that's another thing is like Fat Thor in the movie. How many nerds out there rejoice for that? Like, yes, I can finally go to a con as Thor.
Yeah.
Going as Fat Thor, baby.
This guy's not going for Fat Thor though. He's going for I might not have dyed my hair the right color that day, Thor, but otherwise he's pulling off pretty well.
Yeah, for sure. So up next we've got Captain Hook. And this guy here, man, he could have definitely been in the movie, at least a stand-in. He's got the nose, down to the outfit, man. I can't even imagine the amount of money he spent on that.
Yeah, the only complaint I have about him is he's got his nose off color, where his chin is spot on with the latex work.
It
Like
is.
I can't find a break in his chin anywhere, but on his nose you can definitely see a little discoloration to get that form.
Yeah, it's a little orange, but
Yeah,
it might have looked right until he got hot in that big outfit.
yeah, he probably sweated off all the makeup because he's definitely glistening there.
Yeah, so that might be it, but definitely an awesome hook, man.
Yep, he just needs to level out his chin sweat.
All right. We have Spider-Man, Nori, Spider-Gwen, Miles, what is that?
Morales, and Deadpool. So first entry, second entry from the movie, but first Deadpool entry. Um, I kind of have two minds about this because these are fairly simple costumes, right? If you look at like Deadpool, it's more or less a pullover shirt. It doesn't have any like accents or whatnot. But again, I think they're going for the group factor,
Mhm.
where I think Spider-Man Noir threw on the jacket and hat, kind of covered it up, made it look a little bit more authentic. I think it goes from top to bottom because you can see the uh, Miles Morales maybe did some cheating on the pants a little bit, and I think it's a good group effect overall. But attention to detail. These are pretty simple costumes. I would think the mask looks pre-bought for Deadpool and all three characters for that matter.
Yeah, that's definitely for friends for sure.
Yep.
That's a great part of cosplay that I've always loved, man. You can bring people together, and you got masks like that. And there's a lot of people in the world that are shy, and you can always hide behind the mask and be what you've always wanted to be, and that really helps people get out in the world and break out of their shell and that kind of stuff. And Deadpool's really helped break that mold for a lot of people.
Mhm. So,
So
so
up
we got
next.
a couple good ones coming up next. This next one's kind of fun because there's no way that was planned.
Yeah, that's Indiana Jones with friends and family. So I bet that is an entire family right there for sure. It's even got the old man. What is that? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Is it eight? No, it's seven. Indiana Jones, the old man. I don't even remember what the guy in the red hat was.
Oh yeah, that was his guide when he went to India.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they probably definitely won the group.
yeah, that's a big event. They've got he's got the whip. He's got one of them's got the whip. One guy's carrying two of the artifacts, which is the he's got the cross that was what in Last Crusade, but then he's also got the wooden cup.
Oh,
And yeah, I mean there's a lot of detail here. It looks like we've got all of them. I think have a whip. I can't see the back two as well, but there's definitely some good detail here. You definitely wouldn't mistake. Again, as I talked about earlier, when you walk up and see them, you definitely recognize them for sure.
yeah. Up next, we have Lord Zed from the Power Rangers. Now, this dude here is spot on to the T, man. From the shading to the color to the muscles to all the chrome on this guy. Like, I know this dude got his picture taken like 455 million times.
Yeah, there is a lot of custom work there. That's not stuff you find on the street. It's got texture, it's got depth, it's got, like you say, the color, the chrome, the staff. Every bit of this costume is just spot on. There's a lot of work put in there. I'm kind of just laughing a little bit because I see his badge tagged onto his butt there. There probably wasn't a place to hang anything.
It's the only spot available at the time.
That's right. So yeah, this one is full on. Like you can literally um there's like two or three places on the entire costume where you can see the tights underneath all the armor that he's got put on.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
The next one is Mysterio. So, like, this is very interesting. I don't know how in the world they could have got this dome and have it smoked out like it is and be able to walk around, let alone breathe in that thing all day long.
Hmm.
Just fogging up from that. So that's I wonder if that's one of those you just put it on to take a picture and you take it off immediately.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would have to think so because that is well, I take that back because there was a Mysterio at one of these cons and he didn't move around a lot. He kind of hung out towards the front entrance, but he was there when I walked in and when I left. So I mean, he had to be wandering around up there 4 or 5 hours.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Maybe he's got a little air conditioning unit in that costume.
All right. So up next we have Spock, classic Star Trek Spock. Now this dude, this guy is he's been doing this for a long time. He's got the ears, that's all the prosthetics. He's got probably some kind of hair wig there. But I mean, this guy looks like him to the T. He's got the long face, the nose, everything.
Hmm.
And of course he can do the V split with his hands or whatever it's called.
Live long and prosper.
That's it.
Yep. He's got the facial features, everything. So this guy's pretty spot on. I bet he is a fan favorite at all these Trek conventions out there. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So Andrew, Dragon X, what do you think about going to the cons? What is your favorite things when going there?
Definitely. You mentioned the artwork. Like, I like to go around. I haven't been to a con yet where I didn't buy a piece of artwork. If you ever see the background behind me in my recording studio here, it's just covered. The whole wall's covered with artwork. So I always go try to find one. And I usually like to talk to either the artist. You see a decent amount of authors there. I always like to go talk to these guys and kind of see what drives them to do. What does the behind the scenes look like for them every day? Because these artists and authors and people out like that, they're doing a lot of work. Most of them, this isn't their main gig. They might also do comic books and all that kind of stuff, but they're drafting for companies to do logos, and the authors are taking other jobs. If they're well off in their industry, they're not having to grind out these cons. So I really like to get in to see, what all the work and effort goes in for these people to be able to take that up. And then it immediately goes to, once I do that, I'll go in, and then it's just all people watching at that point. It's just, I go through there and, talk to a couple of these guys, and it's just people watching, looking at the cosplay, looking at the events going on. I just like to sit back and watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I love the artwork. Like I said, I take a book and have the artist there do it. Not only that, but it kind of puts a little money in their pocket and helps support them. And as you're walking around, man, if you see people, no matter what, don't be scared to say, "Hey, man, that's pretty cool." No matter what it is, if it's a gun that they're carrying around, it'll make somebody's day just to hear that feedback. And who knows, you'll probably make a friend out of it. But I mean, the best thing for me is, when you see a little kid in a bumblebee outfit go up to their favorite superhero and pull on them, like, "Can I please take my picture with you?" It's like, oh, all that stuff bust out. It's great. But definitely check out your cons near your area. I'm pretty sure you'll like it and enjoy it. A lot of people have never been, don't have a clue, and definitely check it out sometime.
Yep, it's absolutely a great time. As Kid Roll is talking about, go up and talk to these people, because they're pretty dang passionate to spend the amount of hours that they have to design these costumes, and a lot of them love to talk about that because that's their passion, and you'll learn some really cool stuff from that makerspace world, if you will. So definitely a shout out to Kakambo Breaker website for the great write up and photos from the San Diego Comicon. Let us know, what your favorite costumes are, what your favorite character portrayals are, why you do cosplay if you do, or why you enjoy it. But definitely give us some feedback. See if you'd like to hear some more of that. And if you are a rockstar cosplayer or a beginning hopeful, feel free to shoot us a message and jump on our podcast and talk to us a little bit about why you do what you do. And that's all I got for now.
And until next time, we'll see you later.
Later.
And that's all we got to talk about today, folks. This is Drag.
And this is Kid. If you enjoyed our cast, make sure and check out our website, follow our socials. We love feedback. You give it, we'll talk about it.
You can find us at kidindrag.chat on our website. For Twitter, it's dragkidin. For Instagram, it is Kid and Drag. Same for Facebook, Kid and Drag. We take feedback on all of those social platforms, and we'll see you next time.
Later.